Hello, welcome back. Some madness, some libs of TikTok, episode 7. Let's go.
Before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe. It helps support the channel, and it's 100% free. You should also go down and follow Libs of TikTok on Twitter.
If you've got Twitter.
That's where all these videos are from. As well as, if you want to help support the channel financially, you can go over to Entropy, which is linked down below, and donate over there. It helps support the channel and stuff I do. You know, it's 2022. We're getting to election season again. I want to be able to do, more things, maybe in person, in real life things.
What political party do you think you support?
Not just in my underground bunker. So, if you want to help support that, you want to help get more great content, you can go over and donate over on Entropy. You can also donate when we're live, and we'll read your super chat out loud live. We usually go live, the Big Nick Show, Tuesdays at 9:20 p.m. Eastern. So all that aside, let's get into it. Here we go.
I owe it to Big Nick. He does this for me, so I do that for him.
Main reason for me about why having queer representation and queer educators and queer education in the classroom from a young age is so that these kids will grow up to either be wonderful and accepting allies who have had this normalized in their lives from a young age. If you normalize queerness from a young age, they're more likely to be more accepting and understanding. And if they do not grow up to be good allies, I hope that those kids who later on realize that they are queer love themselves and are able to express themselves and be proud of who they are. That these kids are able to see people like them in their lives and say, hey, that person's just like me, and it's okay to be me. That is the main reason for me about why this is so important. Thank you for your question.
Sounds to me like you want to make the kids gay. That's what it sounds like to me. If I just tried to boil it down nice and simple. So does that mean we need to have heterosexual? We need to do it in a balanced way. We need to have heterosexual training then. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you would object to the heterosexual training, whatever objection you have to that, I can throw back at you. It's madness. It's madness from Libs of TikTok. This is what it is. Let's make the kids fucking gay.
So what is gender fun? Gender is a spectrum. If you don't agree with that, you're not in the right place, man.
Well, you've just used the word man. What if I'm a woman and I'm not? Oh my god, that was such a contradiction. I'm not even going to comment on it.
But we're going to go on the assumption that gender is a spectrum. On this spectrum, sometimes people identify as gender fluid, meaning they bounce between male and female or landing somewhere in between. Gender flan means that I live on the gender fluid spectrum, but I never identify as female. I usually land somewhere as non-binary or all the way male, which is why my pronouns are he or they. I don't prefer either one exclusively because neither one of those exclusively fit me on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know.
So it's all about how you feel on any given day. So your gender means nothing because it's a feeling. And you're a woman, right? I'm sorry, but you're a woman. And your emotional state fluctuates more than a man's does on average. Especially if you're still menstruating. If you are going through your periods, you can just cry at nothing. You can cry at nothing. Why are you crying? It's windy. Like, that's what can happen to you. And your emotions bounce all over the place. So if you're using your emotional state to assign yourself something, you're never going to be the same person twice.
So I found out that I'm not allowed to tell students that I'm gay because it could be seen as supporting a single political party, and it could be seen as a political issue. So if anybody asks, I just really like rainbows. I just really like rainbows. I really like rainbows. No politics in Miss Leia's classroom. She just really likes rainbows. Rainbow duct tape? That's just because I really like rainbows. Rainbows aren't political. Not at all. Rainbows are just colorful and fun. It's not a political thing at all. It's just that I really like rainbows. What? This? This isn't political. This is just that that I really like rainbows.
So she knows it's about politics. She knows. She's even trying to do like a satirical, like trying to do like a skit about it. Like, I just like rainbows, like with really, really shit low level sarcasm. Like that was meant to be funny. And I'd imagine there's crazy leftists out there busting a gut now. God, looks just like rainbows. No, that was idiotic. It's obvious that you're doing it for a political end. It's obvious. And the fact that you're, it's not political, and then you try and do it more. Like, you're not even trying to hide it anymore. I can't wait, right? I can't wait. Given that society doesn't fucking blow itself up, like 2050, the history books are going to be very interesting to read about all you crazy bastards. It really is, because the same way that we look back on lobotomists and electrodes and all that shit and conversion therapy trying to pray away the gay, the same way that we look at that crazy shit is how we're going to look at you when we're like 80. When I'm like 85, if I make it that far, I fucking doubt it, I smoke too many cigarettes, but if I do, and I look back and the history books are being written, I'm like, Granddad, what was it like in 2023? Oh, they were the dark days, son, they were the dark days.
So if you're not on the gay girl side of TikTok, then you might not know that at the moment, JoJo Siwa is in a little bit of hot water because she is currently dating a known Trump supporter. So of course that's calling into question if JoJo Siwa herself is also a Republican and possibly a Trump supporter. And I just have to say, as a person in marine conservation, the idea that JoJo Siwa is a Republican is not that ludicrous. The amount of exploitation it takes to create a JoJo Siwa is astronomical, and I mean exploitation of people and the planet. I mean, look at the merch that she creates. It's all really cheap stuff made in places where the people aren't paid a fair wage.
Boom,
That's
straight
how
facts.
it's so cheap.
Straight
And that's
facts.
also how she became so popular. And over the years, as I've talked to Trump supporters and Republicans to try and understand their logic, it has generally come down to one consensus, and that's that they put their wealth and their status above the needs and basic human rights of everybody else on the planet. Which seems like it might unfortunately be what's happening here.
Oh, God. Why can't people just vote anymore? Why, like, if you vote one way or you vote the other, why is it so polarizing? Why does it splinter and fracture families and friendship circles? Why does this happen? What is wrong with you people? You hold hundreds of beliefs. Pardon me, hundreds of beliefs. You hold hundreds of them. And you disagree on one little thing. And then worlds have to be cleft in twain. It's mad. It's mad. That is a funky nose ring. I'm getting proper, like, Viking vibes from that. I think that'd look nice at the bottom of my beard. Just there. Just that bit there.
I have a question for the Alphabet Mafia. If you're not a member of the LGBTQIA community and you're somehow straight and found me, 1, how? And
Libs
2,
TikTok.
just keep scrolling. So I am apogender. My pronouns are he, they. And as you can tell, I am mask presenting. So my question is this. I always get he. I almost never get the they. Because I'm mask presenting and I do appear more masculine, does that just negate the they? I understand that he is my main pronoun,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's nice to, hear the they portion of the pronoun. That just never happens because I appear more masculine. So I just don't know if people think it just negates the fact that the they part is there just because I'm built like a bear.
The thing that negates the they, so let's cover the he first. The reason you get the he is because you're mask presenting. You look like a fucking man, so people are going to call you he. That's a given. Yes? The reason people don't call you they is because there's one of you. And if you lived in England, we say they a lot. Like, they said this, they said that, they said the other, they did this, they went over there. Talking about a singular person. We do that a lot, but that's because we've broken our own language. You look for Geordie Shore. If you're American, look up Geordie Shore and then look at how they talk to each other and how they speak on a night out, and you'll understand what I mean by the English of butchered English. But yeah, we say they a lot, but they usually refers to two. It doesn't negate it, but if there was two, yeah, that would probably promote it.
I have a question for other genderqueer educators. I am just finishing
always
up
the
my
kids.
teaching degree, and I was wondering how you all respond when students or parents misgender you in a way that doesn't turn into a power struggle. Because when I've had students misgender me so far, I don't know how to respond, and usually when I correct them, they just ignore it.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's fucking. Oh, yes, right. It's not a power struggle. You're making it a power struggle because you want control. They're not struggling with you for power. They live in reality, they observe it, and they talk about it. You are a woman. You are a woman trying to dress like a man, right? There's a few reasons. There's a few reasons that men, in particular, will misgender trans men. There's a reason in particular, and it's because of this weird thing that we all have. All men have it. If you don't have it, you might need to start working on it. But we size each other up. We look at dudes and we think, yeah, he'd fucking kill me, or I could kill him. We do that. We size each other up because there's this thing called the underlying threat of physicality. And what that means is, if you're rude to a man, as a man, you are well aware that he could just snap and try and kill you. You're well aware of this. So, knowing that there's an underlying threat of physicality, we size up everybody and we're less likely to disrespect people. So, for example, if, like, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right, and that person there, let's go back, that person there walked into a room and my friend said to me, right, I'll give you £20 if you insult somebody that walks in the room. You can't pick anybody that's in the room now, you have to pick somebody who's walked in. And they walk in, see how I said they walk in, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson walks in. Both of those people walk in. I'm definitely going to insult this person. Are you with me or not? Are you going to walk up to The Rock and say, nice shiny head, and give him a polish? What are you going to do? You're going to go over to this dude and insult this dude because the underlying threat of physicality, the threat, is much lower in this scenario. So men intrinsically do that. So we can tell you're not a man from the way you walk 50 feet away from your gait. Gait. We can tell. It's just in us. We're warriors. We know. We're predators. Like, think about it. Really think about it.
Misgender me so far, I don't know how to respond.
Good.
And usually when I correct them, they just ignore it.
Good. Well played, children. It's me from the future. This next clip had TikTok music in it. Someone was playing a song, so it got copyright struck, so I've removed it. So, next one.
Time when I said it, so I'll be clear again this time.
Okay.
My gender is. Pronouns are.
Right, no comment. Well, let's move on. That didn't happen. You saw nothing. You saw nothing.
Specific gender identity is maverick, which was coined by a black person.
Maverick?
But it can be used by any person of any race, ethnicity, or other. Maverick is a gender defined by autonomy and inner conviction regarding a sense of self, which is a separate feeling of gender. It's separate from any masculine, feminine, or any combination of these, but it's not to be without or neutral of gender. Mavericks can actually be multi-gender despite it being a specific gender identity. For example, a gender-fluid person may switch between male, female, agender, and maverick. There is no specific way to pass as maverick. It's a very small community and it's not very well known, but we are still valid. This was a gender coined on Tumblr by someone called Vespa H, and it was on their blog Queer as Cat, so I recommend having a look at that and having a look at all the information around it.
So one unhinged person posted it online, other people picked up on it, thought it was a good idea, everybody started doing it. No, I'm not talking about the Tide Pod challenge, I'm talking about their gender. Right? Doesn't sound like a trend at all, does it? And she basically just said, it's big but it's small, and it's hot but it's cold, and it's wet but it's dry, but anybody can be it but nobody can really, because there's no specific way. That's what you just said there, love. Big load of verbal diarrhea.
His resolution is to bully people into using my pronouns because just because I am feminine presenting doesn't mean that I am a woman, and non-binary people don't owe you androgyny. So if I tell you my pronouns are they, he, you're gonna use they, he, bitch.
Okay, so I was raised to not hit a woman. Since I've grown up, there are many reasons that I would hit a woman. Some of them are very, very, very rare. Like, they'd have to be like trying to murder my wife or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would do it. I wouldn't hit them in any other circumstance. I'd grab them and shake the shit out of them because I'm 6 foot and I weigh 13 stone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd be, you stupid bitch. That's what I'd do to her. I wouldn't hit her. But she's not a woman. So, if you're going to bully me, try it. See what happens. Been bullied before. Didn't end well for the bullies at school either. So, try it. See how it works.
More wholesome stories about discussing my gender.
More evil stories about propagating my wicked ideology.
With my students. So I have one student who, ever since I explained to my students that I was non-binary.
Explained. Didn't tell them. Didn't just say, I'm non-binary. That was it. They didn't say it. They explained. Told them everything. Polluted their young minds.
It's been living in his head a little bit. I think that he is still confused and fascinated by it. It doesn't upset him, but it's something that, like, clearly he's, like, processing because he'll ask me questions fairly often about it. So we are doing arts and crafts again. I guess arts and crafts is a good time to have conversations. Things are quiet, kids are focused. I'm walking around checking on how they're doing. So he and his friend are sitting down and drawing, so I go up to their table, and he goes, "Teacher Rebecca, are you ever going to decide if you want to be a girl or a boy?" So I say, well, it's not really a decision like that, and you don't have to choose between one or the other. I already figured out that I'm neither. Do I seem like a girl to you? Do I act like a girl? And he said, you kind of act like a girl and a boy. And I say, would you prefer if I acted more like a girl? And he kind of paused, and he was like, I think if you acted like a girl, I would be less confused.
Boom!
So I said, I understand that. I know that, I look like a girl, so it would be less confusing if I acted like one too. And I turn over to his friend and I say, what about you? Do you think I'm confusing? And his friend just goes, no. I say, do you think that I'm a boy or a girl? No. Oh, what do you think I am? I think you're a boy and a girl.
Because you explained it to him the week before. So one kid is holding to what he fucking believes is true, and they're telling you, I'd prefer it, I'd be less confused if you acted like what you fucking were, right? One kid's being honest with you, and then you say, I understand that, but I don't care. Is effectively what he said. I understand that you'd be left confused, but I don't care. And then you went to the other kid who's paid attention last week and done the homework, and now they're parroting back to you because that's what they're told to do. You told them that 2 + 2 = 4, didn't you? If they said 5, they were scorned. If they said 4, they were praised. Teacher-student relationships are like that. You want to do things right and get things correct, even if you believe it's wrong, because that's how you learn. You correct your beliefs based on what the teacher tells you. Because you can go in there believing 2 + 2 = 7. Your teacher will correct you and understand it means 4. So the kid that you asked the second time, when they went, no, that's them going in their head and scoring homework points because you've told them that shit. You are a teacher. You are not a children's psychologist. You admit yourself these children are confused. Why are you confusing them more? You are not qualified for this shit. You've got a teaching degree. You know basic literacy and numeracy. That's it. Maybe a sprinkle of history and science. You shouldn't be teaching kids this. There's something wrong with you. You're deranged. You're a child abuser. Literally just made a video wearing the same t-shirt, filmed it the same day for this purpose. You're exposing them to sexual stuff. What do you mean you're not a boy or a girl? So what the fuck is what is sex education going to be for these kids when they get to it? Because they've learned loads of stuff about sex before they get to sex ed. Sex ed's going to make no sense. So you can't tell me that if the stuff that they're learning now if this stuff is going to mess up their sex education, right? Because they're not going to understand what it is. So that means that they're learning about sexual things, doesn't it? Because if they're learning about things that are going to impair their judgment on sexual things in the future, that means they're learning a polluted view on sexual things. It's child sex abuse. You're exposing them to things that they shouldn't be spoken to about. You shouldn't do it. I struggle to stay calm, and it's the fucking righteousness and the smugness that they deliver it with. Look at this.
And that gave me a certain amount of euphoria. Like, even though I don't identify as either a girl or a boy, I think what he was saying, you know, being 8 years old, was that that's how he interprets me as a person. He interprets me as a blend. And that works, because that is in a way how I am. My gender moves, and my gender is not either. And I have both feminine and masculine qualities to me. So I'm glad that they're getting it, and I'm glad that they're curious too.
Before we get started,
if I'm gonna fucking sit here and live through this shit, you better subscribe to this channel. What the fuck are you doing watching me go through this agony and not even subscribing to me? Pay a motherfucker. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Jesus, the pain I go through for you guys.
I want to
That's a
position
quiet
myself
one.
as a white woman and acknowledge my own privilege and experiential lens or way of knowing the world is that of a white woman in the United States. I continue to examine my own internalized racism and socialization, and I embrace and I'm grateful for this journey of learning to be an anti-racist and reduce harm personally and professionally. And now we will continue our conversation. We realize and acknowledge that discussions about race and equity are difficult.
I've talked about equity before. Equity and equality aren't the same thing. Equity is communism, by another word. I make £1 million, you make nothing. Equity means you get $500,000.
And they may be uncomfortable, but to get the most out of our conversation today, we all need to be fully engaged. So this will be scary. We'd like for you to have your cameras on. We will keep ours on. Again, a little bit scary. And in the breakout rooms and activities, please speak your truth, but definitely speak. And finally, we only have a short time together today. We plan to provide an overview and then leave you with some concepts to think about.
Whoa. Right. So she's like, this is what I don't get. She's being brainwashed to the point where she thinks her skin colour's a problem. People have been so racist towards her that she now agrees with the racists. That's effectively what's just happened to that lady there. That lady's like, I've got white privilege. How have you got white privilege? Every homeless person I've seen in the UK has been white. I've seen maybe one or two coloured people, people of colour, black people, however you want to fucking term it, because the phrase changes every month. I've seen one or two of them. POCs. Seen one or two of them, right? And then the rest of them are white. So how the fuck are they privileged? How are they privileged? Like, black kids make it into university more. White kids are suffering. White boys particularly. Like, I don't understand. Like, this racism has gotten so out of hand. It's gotten so out of hand. We're basically, I think what's happened is, let me know in the comment section if you agree with this, right? If you're going to leave a fucking comment on this. Because these videos just get sat here and nobody fucking cares. So interact with me, please, bitch. It's the least you can do, right? But I think that we had a real racist problem years ago. And we've overcompensated. So there was loads of like white supremacy, KKK, lynchings, Emmett Till, all that horrible shit, right? And then we sort of got better, and now we've gone too far the other way to where the white man, like we've gone through all these transitions and made life better and tried to make it more equal for people, but the white man is still the devil in most people's eyes. So now we're losing out because we've overcompensated. Let me know what you guys think, because I think that's what's happened. We've got in 100 years, we've gone from black people are inferior to now white people are. We've just flip-flopped. New Year's resolution. Being anti-racist. Eating healthier. Oh no, you should eat like a fat fuck. Exercise to keep your mental health in good check. No, you shouldn't exercise. You should slob around. Save money. Yeah, saving money is a good idea. You should save money. Put it in your bank. Oh, no. You should spend every penny you get as soon as you get it. So I don't need to lose weight or eat better to save my money, I just need to get a shot. Okay. Yeah.
real quick, I
Nick's
feel like
here.
this one needs a little context.
Go on then.
So basically, what's happened in this clip you're about to see, this is an eighth grade teacher at a middle school in Rhode Island. The whole school's on lockdown for a weapons threat.
Oh.
So they're in their classrooms. They're probably like huddled down, trying to hide in case there's an actual threat. And the eighth grade teacher here, starts yelling at them for being too close together without wearing masks. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, here you go.
Over 800,000 people so far, and you people don't have the good common sense to stay away from each other that we ask you 50 times a day? How stupid can you be that 50 times a day the adults are saying, put your mask up and stay 3 feet apart? And do you think Mrs. Schofield and I just want to be here till 2:36? Did we do this? This is because your peers are making stupid decisions. Just like the decision you all made to just stand next to each other, take a picture, have your masks off. You're all making bad decisions, and that's why we get stuck in stupid, boring assemblies to hear about stupid behavior you should already know not to do. This is a year of stupid behavior by... So why don't you start pressuring your peers to stop?
We're gonna get it soon!
Jesus. There's going to be a lot. I'm not going to talk about the masks, but there's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out about masks in the future and to show the efficacy of them, because it's all up in the air. Next one. Why should we kids get vaccinated when it's available? Well, this is an ordinary shot, kids.
We're gonna get it soon! And then we can play! Yay! I'm so excited! We will get to play together when it's done. The shot! We will get to play together when it's done. The shot! We will get to play together. We will get to play together. We will get to play together when it's done. The shot!
It's going to be interesting to see when COVID's all fizzled out. It's going to be interesting to see how many children actually died from it, because not a lot of them did. It was mostly people who had comorbidities, and it was like respiratory conditions and being fat and old. They're most of the victims. Like children I don't think they really needed it unless they were like severely at risk because of a predisposition towards it, like respiratory conditions or being fat. Like other than that, yeah, madness. But let's keep going.
So yesterday I found out that my grandfather, who lives in Florida, has COVID-19, and he is not vaccinated.
Right.
And you would think, from coming from a family of medical doctors, that he would take the vaccine. But no. But you would also think, from someone who lost their son during the HIV and AIDS epidemic, that he would take a pandemic seriously. But no. So, if he dies, I would be upset. But right now, I do not have any sympathy. Because if he dies, he's just going to be another number.
Man, I didn't think
Jesus, do you see what I'm saying about how, like, this is just like a vote. It's an opinion, and you can hold multiple different opinions to things. So if somebody votes Republican, fucking cut them out of my life, fucking get rid of them, don't want them, I don't want them. Like, I don't want to get vaccinated. Oh, you're a fucking lunatic, you're an anti-vaxxer, blah, blah, blah. And I want to get vaccinated. Oh, you're part of the government, oh, it's all part of their plan. Like, why can't people just make their own fucking decisions anymore? Why does it have to be so polarizing? What is wrong with people?
2022 is going to start off.
Have any sympathy? Because if he dies,
he's
just going to be another number.
Cold.
Man, I didn't think 2022 was going to start off this dope. But damn it, did it start off awesome. Watch this. Suspended from Twitter. Gone. Goodbye. So deserved, too. I've been waiting for this, man. I've been waiting for this for months, for years now. Trump got banned for misinformation. This person has been spewing misinformation for years now. Good job, Twitter. Thanks for starting off 2022 perfectly.
There's how much influence a social media site has on your life. I'll give you a newsflash now, right? If you're American, nobody cares about Twitter other than Americans. Twitter is full of famous people from around the world and Americans. Like, I know next to nobody in real life in the UK that uses Twitter. Everybody over here, everybody else that I know uses Facebook. That's what is the most common thing here. Nobody cares about Twitter. Honestly, nobody cares about it. And the amount of weight that he has behind it, like, oh, Twitter, oh, my website made a change. You need more hobbies, dude. Seriously.
At this point in my life, a pickup truck with an American flag attached to the back, speeding down a street, gives me pause, and I look for safety.
So the most common kind of vehicle in America, driving in the most common place to see a vehicle, waving the most common flag in the country, makes that woman scared. She's scared of pickup trucks driving down roads flying American flags. I can't think of a more American fucking image in my mind. If that gives you pause and you need to look for safety, move out of the fucking country. If you feel so unsafe, why are you there? Think about it. Well, yeah. Anyway, episode 7 down. Peace.